Special day in the Bull Studios because not often do we get to play a brand new song from a brand new artist, but I say that artist's name and you already know who they are. Unique situation. It's Big D in studio with AJ McLean.
Thank you, man.
Bro, first of all, we're going to play your brand new song.
Thank you.
It's going to be the first radio station in the world to play your brand new song.
As you did with Bottle Service, man. I mean,
dude,
hats off to you guys. All this love is just beyond appreciated. Seriously. Thank you.
Well, we're glad to do it. If the song sucked, I say this all the time. If the song sucked, we wouldn't play it. You're a great dude.
I would hope not.
But,
yeah.
you know, this is something we talked about before. I'm going to come back around on it. Why country, man? I mean, you are a world-famous pop artist, a part of one of the biggest, most successful pop acts in the history of the world.
You know,
why country?
I try to classify myself as just a very well-rounded artist, period. I mean, if you look at our, 25-year career, we've done a lot of songs that could be considered country, could be considered borderline rock or urban or, just normal pop. But, I mean, me growing up, I was influenced by tons and tons of, different types of genres of music, from country to R&B to funk. But for me, the biggest selling point is country music tells a story. And, being a Backstreet Boy, I've gotten used to just singing really good, heartfelt songs, great love songs, fun pop records. But to be able to tell my story through my music is something that I've wanted to do for years. And in this type of genre, it's the perfect fit. So I'm excited for the entire world to hear this entire album.
It's so awesome. Speaking of album, you obviously got a ton of tracks. Do you have a target date? And listen, I get the game. You can't say it. But, like, in your mind, what's a good time frame for you to have a full album ready?
In my mind, it would be perfect to have everything cut and recorded by the end of this year, and then have an album sometime top of the year, maybe second quarter.
Okay.
Like
obviously, maybe March.
Yeah, maybe like
April.
March, because obviously I have to work around the Backstreet schedule.
Maybe the ACM weekend.
That would be perfect timing, actually. Yes.
So April 5th, you got it. You heard
okay,
it
April
first.
5th. There's the album release date. Perfect. April 5th, ACM week.
If that works, I'm gonna that's gonna be hilarious.
I'm gonna make that work somehow.
That would be fantastic.
Heck yeah, man.
What are some of your influences? I mean, you obviously first got a taste of country, and maybe it's not your first taste of country, but the one we all know about is you and the boys working with FGL.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but even before then, I mean, it's funny. The very first country artist that I ever kind of was into was Dolly Parton. Not only was she easy on the eyes, but I just loved the fact that she was a country artist that actually kind of did riffs and runs and was like almost like a Beyonce of country back in the day. Like, she just had so much soul, and and she was just always putting on a great live show. And then when we did the ACMs was the first time I ever saw Sam Hunt live. And my wife had already kind of previewed me to him a little bit.
Yeah.
And I literally, right after we finished doing the show, went straight to my computer, downloaded the album, and I was like, wow, like, this is like R&B and pop. And then, of course, my boy Stapleton. I mean, he is, in my opinion, probably one of the most sought-after vocal country artists I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Ever. I mean, his voice, I could sit and listen to him all day, every day. And he's one of the nicest people in the world. So down to earth.
I won't give it away, but there is a Stapleton feel on one of your tracks that hopefully people get to hear at some other point.
Yes,
I don't know, like April 5th.
Yeah, maybe, yes. I also, when I was out here with you guys to do the little, show that we did, I also did my, my cover of a, awesome Stapleton record, Drunkard's Prayer, which I hopefully can find a way to put on my record as a cover, because vocally it's one of my favorite, performances, and it's a very near and dear song to my heart, and I hope I could do it justice if he gives me the green light. So, Chris, please, can I just take it? I'd love to.
We'll hook that up.
Okay,
we have to be able to make that happen. You got 3 artists, right? Let's say you put this album out, whatever you do. 3 country artists reach out to you to work with them. If you could pick who they are, who are they? And I'm not asking top 3. Give me 3 to 1. Just any 3.
Okay.
What 3?
Stapleton for sure. Actually, looking right here next to me, Little Big Town would be awesome. And actually, I think Midland would be really, really cool.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
That'd
honestly,
be cool.
I think we could really, because we actually kind of dress a lot alike, kind of crazy off the kind of norm. Like, those, I love those guys' style. I mean, they are definitely sticking out like a sore thumb, which is awesome. But I love their sound. I think that could be really kind of interesting.
I think you and Luke Bryan would be interesting too. Between
Luke and I would have fun.
Yeah.
And Blake. Blake and I mean, I actually sang with Blake here in Las Vegas. It was after ACMs. Blake did this little private little concert over at, I want to say it was at Mandalay at the House of Blues. And he pulled me up and we sang I Want It That Way. And it was insane. Even though I was nervous because Gwen just went up. I'm like, I'm not going to follow your girlfriend, bro. Like, she's like a queen in this room right now. And then he's like, no, man, come on up. I'm like, okay. And we brought down the house. And I thought he was going to do more songs. That was the end of the night. I'm like, oh, my God.
You were Blake Shelton's finale.
Yeah, it was freaking nuts. But, yeah, it was awesome.
All right, let's jump into the single. It's called Night Visions.
Yes.
First of all, out of everything you're recording right now, how much of it are you getting your hands on the writing aspect?
You know, even if I'm not putting pen to paper as far as lyrics, which I have done for, I'd say, a good half of the album, concepts are all coming a lot from me. Concepts, production, direction, sounds. I'm obsessed with the sound that a dobro makes. So I've definitely been putting a lot more of that in some of the songs. Even throwing a tad bit of like Rhodes in there to have that kind of soulfulness. But I mean, Night Visions was a record that was sent to me. I fell madly in love with it. I like the fact that it kind of almost has a pop sense to it, but it still has that country flair. I also like what it's talking about. I think lyrically, basically saying that you'll do whatever for the person that you love. I mean, go to ends and beyond, which is kind of where the video goes, which I cannot wait for the video to be seen by the world.
Which is unique because your video premieres all day on CMT tomorrow.
Yes.
That's massive.
I know. I can't even believe, thank you so much to everybody at CMT, taking a chance with me and believing in the project and believing in the video. The video, I mean, you've seen the video. Obviously, you know what the video's up with. So
and you directed it.
I co-directed it with my buddy Renee Elizondo, and it was a one-day shoot. It was a long day, but man, I could not be happier with the end result. So I can't wait for everyone to see it.
That's unreal. So that's tomorrow. Minutes from right now, you're on Entertainment Tonight. What are you guys talking about?
We're going to talk about the record, talk about the album, talk about the single, and hopefully talk about me coming back and doing a solo tour.
We would be doing a disrespect to the boys that you have created an amazing career with if I didn't ask the question. How do they feel about this?
We've always said to each other that, any outside endeavors that any of us want to do, if it's a solo record, if it's acting, if it's musical theater, we all want to let each other spread our wings and to have a moment to kind of identify with who you are as a solo actor, solo artist. But at first, I think they were a little bit like, really? Country? Okay. But then when I started playing some of the songs, they definitely get it, and they fully are supportive. So we'll see.
Who's the biggest fan of your new stuff? You
know what? I would have to say Brian is definitely a big fan, as well as I think Nick, I mean, all the guys are. But Brian is the kind of my go-to to kind of, him and I kind of see a lot more eye to eye as far as music and certain things like that, and we kind of think a lot alike. So he's kind of my go-to to kind of test the waters, and he'll just be honest with me. You should change this part or do this part. I may not listen, but I'll still take the advice.
Thanks for the advice.
Yeah, thank you for it. I'm not going to do that, but okay. But yeah, I mean, definitely try to run it by him, and all the guys have a great musical sense, so I think they can kind of see the bigger picture, knowing that it's kind of my, take on just doing great music with a little bit of a country flair to it,
So the BSB fans worldwide will freak the more they learn about a solo project. But
and now that it's finally happening, they're going to be really happy because they've been waiting for a while. I mean, I've been talking about this for years.
But by no means this isn't, okay, this was great, guys. New chapter, new life. No, this
is
regardless of where the waters go, they always lead back.
Yes, and this is going to be
I felt
something.
like I just wrote a poem.
I know, literally. And God sent down. No, this is always going to be something that I'm passionate about, and regardless of the magnitude of the success that my solo has, I will continue to make music solo as well as a Backstreet Boy. for the rest of my life. I mean, I want to keep making music to let people see me as me outside of the group. And Backstreet, I mean, we're literally about to release our 10th album, do a brand new tour, all these things. It's like, we're not going to stop. So until we are in like wheelchairs or walkers, and even then we're probably not going to stop.
That's going to be a badass
do some
show.
wheelie dance routines, you know? I mean, come on.
All right, the time is here. The video premieres all day tomorrow on CMT, but you're hearing the song in Las Vegas first, worldwide even,
Yes.
on 95.5 The Bull.